the market's pretty interesting. Last night it rallied all the way to 6,800, 6,800. And then we, about 5 o'clock this morning, it started selling off, and it's been a little weak since that time period. In fact, it came down, and we had RB3 had a range of 67.26 low and a 67.75 high. Two numbers that we gave you last night on what we gave you. Does everybody have the numbers we gave last night? Let me ask that question. Those are still good numbers. Oh, we'll post them just to make sure everybody's got it. 67.25, 67.45, 67.62, 67.75, 67.85, 67.95, and 68.05. I think that'll take you all the way up and give you something to look if we do get a rally. Now, I told Jonathan this morning, I said, let's go through Monday. Why don't we go through Monday and try to look at Monday the way that we look at it and see if we can't make heads or tails about what the market and the message is saying. Now, remember, there's risk involved in trading. In fact, probably more sometimes than you think, past performance is not indicative of future results. In my opinion, I think the ultimate outcome will be higher prices. The question is, do they make you wish you didn't think that before we go higher? They seem to be having a rolling movement inside the market where one sector gets hot, the other sector gets very weak. Right now, tech stocks are really being pushed back, with the exception of Micron, and we'll talk about that in my opinion. Remember today, we got our weekly letter going out. It goes out after 4 o'clock. In this letter, we're going to highlight 5 stocks and any special opportunities we see this week with the news. Chuck alluded to it. We have a lot of big news on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, so keep that in mind as we narrow in to what we're looking at. All right, Jonathan, why don't you cover the November stocks real quick, and then we'll get into the slides.
All right, Tom, thanks. I just updated this as of 11:06, 1 minute ago. We got the S&P and NASDAQ slightly below their 3-day lows. Look at the current price of the S&P at 67.39. Look at the 3-day low price. When we say 3-day low, we mean the first 3 trade days of the month. Marks the high-low frame. We use that to trade the rest of the month. NASDAQ 3-day low was 25,282. Current price 25,050 as of a month or two ago.
So both the E-mini and the NASDAQ at the current price is below the 3-day low.
Yep, sure is. And you see gold and silver here above. I'll highlight their 3-day highs and their current prices. Silver stronger than gold. Silver, Tom, you saw it went up to make a new high last week. Gold didn't quite do that. So silver is a stronger market. But they're both above their 3-day high for the month of November. Bitcoin short, and then if we have the S&P and NASDAQ short, then most of our stocks are going to show short. There's going to be some outliers. Google, Apple's showed relative strength. It's got to get back above 271.70, a little bit lower than that today, but Google strong. XBI also bucking the trend, but most of these are going to be short whenever the S&P and NASDAQ are that way. So again, here's your 2 numbers on the S&P and on the NASDAQ at the top of the page. If you look down the FTD high, FTD low, first 3 days, then you'll get that information. Now, Tom, Adam I think it was Adam posted in the room here, register for Saturday's big reveal. You got a Saturday session, I understand.
Yeah, Saturday night. I couldn't believe it. 7 o'clock.
Great. Yeah. So you
Yeah,
can go
it's
to,
interesting that I've never done that before. I guess this will be the first time in my history of doing a Saturday night webinar.
that's right. First for everything. Look forward to it. So go to dtitwitter.com/Saturday to get registered for that Saturday evening session with Tom. Sounds good. All right, this is Training Trade for November, every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Tom does trade during these sessions, and if we do trade, it's going to be sent to the T-Buzz Talk and Trade service, Tom's best service, T-Buzz Talk and Trade. If you don't know what T-Buzz Talk and Trade is, you might not want to just click the link to join, although we think you should, but you will need to call us, and we will talk you through what T-Buzz Talk and Trade is. It's a fantastic program. Right inside Telegram, if you know what Telegram is, Tom does everything inside Telegram, and he's busy all day long. I would say 24/7, but it's more like 24/5, I would call it. Whenever the market's open, Tom's active. That includes early in the morning, early birds love the program. Tom starts at like 5 a.m. Eastern time or so. It's just a wonderful program here at DTI called T-Buzz Talk and Trade.
Yeah, and also at night, sometimes I'll see things in the evening that I can give people a heads up about. It's just what I like about it. We also keep tracking the key numbers that we use, through our reference bars, and Chuck posts that in there in a very readable form that turns out to be very helpful, especially if you try and you get a market move and you can go look at that array of numbers and be right on top of it without much work. And I like that, where I can go to Telegram and look at it myself. It's a good program. I like it.
Absolutely.
All right, so today's focus is how Monday's market fits into the month. So far, we showed you the futures were currently trading below the 3-day low. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going down. What that means is, if you keep your eye on it, if it closed down there, you're going to get some sell signals. Okay. Now, this is the market. Let's just think about it. Look at the high last month, 69.53. And then you look at the high this month. I think it was 6,900, right, Jonathan, if I remember correctly. And the low this month occurred Friday morning at 66.70. Okay. And so we've got a pretty good market range here. Week 1 of the month marked a big range up, right? If you look at it, week 2 traded within that range from week 1. What is week 3 going to do? I think with the news this week, and a little history here, folks, just where you'll know, it's very rare. November actually is one of the best months historically in the market, and that plays into my mind a lot, because the story they selling is this November is not good. That's the story being sold by the street right now. I'm just not buying it yet. At some point, I'll face up to it. But right now, you've got to get past this midpoint, and you've got to get some distance between the 3-day high, which is 6,900, and where you say to yourself, well, there's no way we're going to make it back up to there. I don't say that yet. There's a way. It could start today. But the bottom line is that it's too early to tell or throw away November based on what I know about November and how the market creates a bunch of opportunity the second half of November. That's just historical. Oh, let me remind everybody, this Friday, keep in mind, this Friday, I will be interviewing Jeffrey Hirsch, the writer of the Stock Traders Almanac, this Friday. So keep that in mind. at 11 o'clock. We'll be covering him on Friday. Interesting guy. He's been writing about the markets. A lot of interesting facts that you'll learn by being here. Now, if you look at E-mini, it has to break out above. Can the E-mini break out above last week's high or break down below last week's low? Or do we still stay range bound? I think that right now I would vote for range bound, but it's early in the day and we're testing right now the monthly open of October at 67.25. So that's the thing I like about Genesis and why it's a necessary part of putting the puzzle together. So the two numbers, 6670, 6900 frames where we've been this month. Let's use the same approach and analyze a few key stocks. I know a lot of people are trading these stocks. I am, and this is what we think on this Monday. Now, if you look at Apple, that's the monthly right there. See how it came up there and started correcting? And so what you would expect from a 244 high, 277 low, if you drew a midpoint, you would still say it was pretty bullish for the month. If you added those two up, it'd be about 111, about 55, about 211 or 277.55. It could correct quite a bit from here before it would turn negative. That's Apple. This is NVIDIA, my stock of the quarter. You can see it went to 213. Actually went to 220 earlier in the month, but this month it's been up to about 211, 212. Been down to below 180. Currently trading, looking at it right today, NVIDIA is currently trading at 186.19. That's the low of the day, I think. Now this stock here, MU, this paid us even in the heart of the big sell-off. We got a high October of 232, October low. This thing is in warp speed, tracking a lot higher, okay? 232 to 165. If you narrow the time frame, this stock made a new high over the week, and that's bullish, folks, when that happens on a Monday. If you get above 260, I would say 260, this is in play today, regardless of what else is happening. Very bullish. There it is, 260.17. I'd say 260.55. We'll probably do a trade on it if it gets there. But right now it's currently trading 251. Been correcting since this morning. And if you look at it, I think the opening of the day for MU was about 250. Just give you an idea of where we're trading, what it's looking at right now. Any questions about how Monday fits in here? Our conclusion, we're range bound and it's a Monday. That's our conclusion. In other words, patience will pay you, but you need to be careful because if this thing does break down, then we're going to go deeper below where we opened the month, which was 67.25, or the quarter, 67.25. But that's the beautiful thing about Genesis, because Genesis, if you look at it, before we go to the rest of the slides, John, just go to a live market. Let me show them what's important about Genesis. All right, if you look at the top of RB3, we're coming into this period at the low, correct? Does everybody see that? This is making a low into Genesis. Okay. When that happens, and it's happened many times in the past, the low of the day is created during this time frame. And if that occurs, then it's going to trade back up, and you're going to probably end up with some bullishness in this market if that occurs. That's the beauty of Genesis. All we have to do is wait till about 12 to 12:30, and we get a pretty good handle on the day. And that's what you wait for on a day like today as it's trading lower coming into Genesis. Not unusual to see this, it happens, but if it does happen, then you can take advantage of it. There's a lot of stocks that will turn bullish on you just like that if it does happen. And how will you know it? It'll start out making a low, and then the bars right now, where you see a lower high on the previous hitting bar, you'll see a higher high on Genesis. That's what I'm looking for. But I don't have an answer for you until what time? About 12 o'clock. That's what makes it the way it is. So I wanted to show you this. We're sort of on hold waiting. We'll just be careful and wait. But I do think there's some opportunity if this market holds these lows. Okay? That's what I'm thinking. Now let's go back to the slides. Here's our plan. We're going to come back after we play the recording, answer any questions. This is on Genesis. This is such a necessary part of understanding the market. People tell me all the time that they make their money by understanding Genesis. So we're going to go back through it, show you the power of this time period during the day, and then we'll come back on after the tape plays. That'll be the plan. So Jonathan, you want to play the tape or?
Yep, we'll do. Sure will.
All right, so we'll come back. I'll sit here and listen to it with you.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Let it go.
Genesis. Today you're going to see the fully automated Genesis algo that tips us off to moves each and every day ahead of time. You can see my brokerage shot there from one of them that I took just recently with my own money. Now, we develop tools and strategies to the best of our ability, but no one can guarantee the future. There's always a risk of loss when trading. In fact, winners and losers are bound to happen. So never go all in. Don't risk more than you can afford to lose. And you can see more information on this on our homepage. Now, our whole purpose of our research is to give you an edge when it comes to trading. But remember, losers have happened and they will happen again. So if you're new and you're just worried about getting started, maybe start paper trading for a while. But we're going to do the best to make your experience great. Now, my name is Graham Lindman, and when I was only 15 years old, I began trading under the mentorship of a former banking VP, Tom Busby, who taught me the driving principles of the stock market. And within my first year under his wing, we were able to double my $100,000 trading account, taking it north to $250,000 in what felt like no time. Now, this was paper trading because I wasn't even 18 at the time, but just to show you the power of Tom's principles. And that officially kickstarted my investing career, and I've never looked back. Using some of those same principles he taught me, I was able to double my account in 2021. This was my Robinhood account back then, up over $33,000. And some of his principles are behind many of the successful trades from our opening playbook sessions. Anytime you hear me talk about price action or looking at key numbers, that came from Tom. He's the one that taught me that. Well, recently I got a call from Tom with some groundbreaking news. You see, using these same market driving principles, he's actually been able to build out what might be the most hands-free trading weapon that has ever existed. And you guys here are going to love this because we know that you love trading with us every day. And this is actually in our quiet hour here on Opening Playbook where you can get some more action. Now, it's a next generation smart algo that automatically sends you high-powered trade alerts on autopilot nearly every single day. That means while you're out doing things you love, away from the screens, or maybe just grabbing lunch, whenever you hear that ding in your pocket, you know another high conviction trade has been dialed up. For example, like on October 7th, you could have been grabbing lunch at your favorite restaurant, heard that ding in the pocket, push a few buttons to set the trade and turned an 88% gain there overnight. Maybe Tuesday, you were out taking a hike, getting some fresh air, and that day you got the ding in the pocket, 91% gain overnight here. Wednesday, let's say you're playing tennis. That sounds fun. I wish I could get out in the middle of the day and go play tennis. That would be awesome. But you hear that ding in your pocket, 48% gain there. We can go over and over again. Thursday, 96%. Friday, 107% gain there over the weekend. Now, if someone start with $1,000 in each after only 5 quick trades and maybe 15 minutes of your time, that could have been an extra $4,314 in trading profits over the week, all thanks to a brand new fully automated smart algo that we call Genesis. And I love this. You guys are going to see some research here today that's going to shock you, dissecting the different market hours of the day, and it's going to be really, really eye-opening. Now, to set the stage, Genesis isn't like your old-fashioned trading software indicator. The smart algo requires zero oversight. Each automatic alert includes everything you need to trade on the go. You get the stock ticker, entry price, profit target, stop loss, and even an individual chart, as you can see right there. Now, that means instead of sitting at your desk, wasting hours of your day, hunting for new trading setups, you can have a chance to target the next win while doing the things you love. Now, the Genesis algo is the culmination of over 40 years of market experience, T-Buzz's market experience, and it's all automated, all in one place. And it's unlocking a whole new way to trade the stock market. For example, like back on September 12th, at the time, the QQQ, dead in the water. Not much to write about there, but thanks to Genesis running 24/7 around the clock, you could have been out for a morning bicycle ride, or maybe you were sitting at the desk like me. Either way, you get the ding right there and read that the QQQ was on the verge of breaking out over the next hour with a 78% confidence rating based on the results from a 16-month study. And anybody who could have set the trade with a few clicks of their phone, maybe invested $2,000, when everything worked out, it hit the profit target there, and you could have pocketed an extra $1,723. Look at that. It said it was going to break out over the next hour. What happened? It broke out. Now, a quick $1,000 from one trade is great, but that's not even close to the best part. You see, unlike a lot of trading strategies out there, with Genesis, we don't need to wait days or